Welcome, everybody, to Speaking of the Arts. As you know, our Speaking of the Arts series is a town hall style series of bringing you conversations from nationally and internationally known artists. And we welcome you here today. As our members know, I'm Donna Matham, President of Arts Advocates. And some of you that are guests today, we want to welcome you. If maybe this is the first time that you've had an opportunity to see what Arts Advocates is all about. But at any rate, we'd love to have you as a member. Our purpose is to inspire, to educate, and to connect the community to the arts. If you'd like to know more about Arts Advocates, you can find us on the website, artsadvocates.org. I'd like to thank everyone who's made today possible. Primarily our wonderful friends, Ariel and Wilmian Serrano, Wilmian Hernandez Serrano, from the Sarasota School of Cuban Ballet. They're one of the really, I would say, high spots of Sarasota's art community. I want to thank Petra Ratner, our producer, Jeanette Palladino, new board member who will MC today, and last but not least, Francisco Serrano, artist with England's Royal Ballet. Francisco, we're so proud to have you as a friend, and we're following your career with great interest. So Jeanette, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Donna, and welcome everyone. It's my pleasure to be moderating this conversation today. Our audience will be muted during the discussion, but at the end, we'll be answering your questions. Please use the chat box, which is located at the bottom of your screen, to type in your questions. Let me start by introducing our guest today, Francisco Serrano. He's a graduate of the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School and an artist with the Royal Ballet, as Donna mentioned. The Sarasota Cuban Ballet School was founded by his parents, Cuban-born Ariel Serrano and Wilmian Hernandez, who retired as principal dancers with the Sarasota Ballet. Francisco began his ballet training at the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School with his parents as his teachers. And 2 years later, he was offered a scholarship. That's not very long after you started dancing, Francisco. He was offered a scholarship at the Royal Ballet's Young Dancers program in London. Here is Francisco with his parents, Ariel Serrano, Wilmian Hernandez, founders of the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School, and his sister Camilla. Francisco began training at the Royal Ballet Upper School and entered the main company as an artist at the start of the 2017-18 season. His repertoire with the company includes roles in Infra, Medusa, Flight Patterns, and many others. Among palm trees, that's his nickname, Francisco's awards are the gold medal in the pas de deux at the Youth American Grand Prix, gold medal at the International Student Ballet Competition in Havana, Cuba, and second place a Malin Seymour Award for Expressive Dance, a competition for dancers within the Royal Ballet's company. Dancers select and prepare expressive solos on their own without any coaching. The Royal Ballet suspended its performances and classes because of the pandemic, and Francisco is back in Sarasota with his family. Welcome, Francisco.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Oh, good, I'm glad. You're now a dancer with the Royal Ballet in London, one of the most prestigious ballet companies in the world. What was the path that led you there?
Well, I first, before ballet, to start there, I played baseball for 7 years, so that took up majority of my childhood. My dad was actually the first base coach, but when that came to end, I went to my mom's ballet school, and I kind of went into a few classes, kind of on and off. I did a few Nutcracker shows, but I didn't get serious until I did like my first pas de deux class with another boy that was there, and kind of decided that I wanted to kind of give it a try. And then from there on, my mom started giving me private lessons. And then a little after that, kind of started joining like general classes, kind of getting a bit more feel to it. And then a little bit, I think maybe I want to say a year after that, maybe a little bit less, my parents ended up building the school, Sarasota Cuban Ballet School. So I started there. It was just I remember it was just me, my sister, and my little cousin at first, just three dancers. We literally were painting the walls, everything. And then after a few years there, I started doing competitions. I first went to, I think my first competition was in Orlando, and then I ended up going to competitions in YGP. But from there, I went to YGP in New York, and I got the scholarship to go to the school for the first year, but I declined just because I was a bit young, and I wasn't exactly ready for that. And then I ended up going back the year after that to hopefully get that scholarship back, and luckily they gave it to me. I accepted, and then I joined that year in 2014, I think, and I joined the second year. So I just did second year and third year in the Royal Upper School, sorry. And then luckily after my third year, I got into the company as an apprentice, and yeah, and then I've been in the company for 5 years now.
Francisco, tell us about the influence of Carlos Acosta. You mentioned that too when we were talking.
Yeah, before I want to say I've always been very serious about it, but before I kind of really wanted to know, I really knew what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. I It was in one of the competitions where I saw the men's variations, and I sat there next to my dad, like, oh, what variation is this? I didn't know. I think it was Diana and Action, and I never saw it before. And then my dad, when I went home, my dad and we went on YouTube and spent, I want to say, a good hour and a half, 2 hours just looking up videos. And at that point, my dad showed me Carlos and him in variations and ballets and different, pieces. But then he showed me him doing a Bayadere show at the Royal Opera House. And I think that was the moment I realized that, I had a good path in what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be.
Just for everybody who might not know, Carlos Acosta is a world-renowned ballet dancer. He actually, he and Ariel Serrano actually were in class together in Havana and are still very close friends. Carlos Acosta danced in the Royal Ballet in London. As I said, he's a world-renowned dancer. And just very recently, he took over as artistic director of the Royal Birmingham Ballet in England. Can you describe how, well, you talked about the youth, you said YPG. I just want to mention Youth America Grand Prix is one of the, well, probably the world's largest competitions. And young dancers go to their regional competitions as semifinals, and then they hold the finals in New York. And that's basically a place where all the ballet companies come and they scout young dancers like Francisco. And so he was recruited, as he said, and then the second year he accepted the invitation to join the Royal Ballet. I want to now show you, let me just see if I'm in the right place. Okay, what I would like to show you is from the Young Youth American Grand Prix, I'd like to show you the pas de deux that Francisco danced when he accepted the Royal Ballet's invitation. Petra? It's coming. This is one of the most famous pas de deux in the ballet repertoire, right, Francisco?
Yeah, it's well known, definitely.
Very well known.
One? Is it this one?
Yes.
more. Sorry about that. Sorry about it.
That was great. I just want to make a point that, in fact, several students from the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School are going to Atlanta this weekend to compete in the regionals of this year's Youth America Grand Prix. And I would say the school has been eminently successful in having dancers win these competitions and go into major ballet companies. Last year, several won the Grand Prix, first place in number of categories. So I'm a volunteer, and I love this school, and so I wanted to just give it that little bit of a plug. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what's the culture like at the school, and what makes it, what was it that turned you into such a great dancer and other people? What's the culture like there at the school?
Well, in the school, they helped me tremendously. I got the base of my training here with my parents, obviously. But when I got there, they refined everything. They helped me with loads of things: port de bras, footwork.
You're talking about the Royal Ballet. Yeah.
Sorry.
You're talking about the Royal Ballet that helped you with these.
The school.
Yeah. I was asking you about the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School and how that prepared you. What was the culture like there?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I started there from the first day that they gave me the base to everything. They gave me the base to be able to jump and turn and partner well and do everything that I have to do to, be able to be on stage. We definitely took it slow just because I did start a little bit later. So it was a very slow start, but I want to say with the help of my parents and my coaching, all the coaching staff and everyone, I think I took advantage of all that and I used it well to be able to get there in that little bit of time that I had. I definitely I owe them a lot for that.
You've often said that it seems like a family there.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it feels like a school, but it doesn't really feel like a school, if you know what I mean. It feels like you're in a safe environment with friendly people. It's a family ballet school, basically. Like there's no, how can I say, there's no tension, there's no awkward moments. It's just all friendly and nice. So it's all about dancing. It's nothing. That's it. When you walk through the doors, that's all they want to do. That's that's what you do all day there is kind of learn and teach and get yourself to the best place you can be in ballet.
Speaking of the Royal Ballet, are there any particular roles that you've been given that you feel showcase your talent? Patrick, there's a picture there.
There are a few. Yeah, I did a few really nice roles in Nutcracker. I did the Russian dance, which is called Trepak. I did Chinese.
Petra,
I
can you
did
share-
Soldier Doll in the first act. I recently just did the Cavaliers as well in second act. Yeah, so I was lucky to have those roles. Also, a lot of contemporary roles in Wayne McGregor's piece. Also, a friend of mine, Calvin Richardson, he's a choreographer. I've been in a few pieces of his that I feel like, you know, showcase. We work together, and you know, you give it. You kind of can give your 2 cents on what you feel kind of suits you. Yeah, in many things as well. Like Crystal Pite, we did a contemporary piece with her. Just her as a person as well was just amazing. That was a great opportunity to have. So I do feel like I've had a few opportunities to kind of show what I have to bring to the stage.
The picture you just saw, folks, is Francisco in the Nutcracker from this past season, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You just mentioned, you know, thanks, Fedra. Yeah, that's you on the left, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's me.
correct? Okay.
That's me.
That's Francisco on the left. What an exciting, I mean, it's such an exciting background. It's just thrilling to know you're there.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
You mentioned before that you worked with the Canadian choreographer in Crystal Pike in Flight Patterns, which is that something she choreographed, you know, originally for the Royal Ballet, or is it something that she reconstructed when?
That was a piece for the Royal Ballet. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we started first. We started with the workshop, and from there, we kind of did the casting, and everyone got their specific places, and then we just started from the beginning, really from zero. And the whole process, I have to say, was just absolutely amazing. If you guys have a chance to watch it online, I recommend it. The piece. Just the essence of the piece is just amazing. Like the way she kind of interprets the music and everything, and her as a person by herself is just, you know, a bright light that just walks through the door every day. So yeah, that was a very, very nice experience for me.
Well, we happen to have just a very small piece of that section where you're rehearsing your role in that particular piece. Can we show that, Petra? There you are, right? The red.
Yeah, that's me. Just to clarify, that was actually the piece called Scherzo, where we just performed recently for a gala.
Okay.
That was no, just I just wanted to clarify. That was done by Valentino Zucchetti. He's in the company as well. He choreographed he choreographed that on a lot of the kind of first artists of the company, and like the apprentices, basically, just the kind of new ones that haven't really had that chance to, you know, kind of show off on stage. So we kind of had that really nice opportunity to. He choreographed everything like from scratch as well, which is, you know, amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
While you were in London, didn't you have the opportunity to dance with other smaller companies? I know you did something last year around Christmas time. What can you describe a little bit about that?
Yeah, we from time to time we can sometimes have little shows and little we would like to say little galas. So I've been to Dover. I went to the southwest of England as well. We did a few shows there with choreographers doing contemporary pieces, and also another piece that I did with again the friend of mine, Calvin Richardson. It's nice to kind of have that outside work as well, to kind of get out of the city and yeah, just have a kind of new audience to be able to dance for.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
You went back to the Royal, but you were here most of the summer, and you went back last August to the Royal Ballet, which resumed performances before it had to stop again.
hmm
What new roles did you have when you returned to the Royal Ballet last August?
Well, we started off, it was a very slow process, obviously, with COVID. Theaters weren't really sure on what was going to be possible. So ended up doing Elite Syncopations. We did the grand kind of finale or little snippets of it for the gala. We ended up also being able to do a few shows of the Nutcracker, where I wasn't able to do most of the roles that I was down to do, but we did have a rehearsal time, and I think that was where got that photo from. Um, we also they also did I wasn't in this, but they also did Golden Hour from Kristen Wilden, which was a really nice gala, and they just had a lot of different snippets and pas de deux and solos from different ballets, which was nice. We had the live stream just to kind of get ourselves performing again on stage.
Okay. Um, just let me see where I am. What's your experience been like living and working in London? You got there at a very young age.
Yeah, it was very different. It was definitely a big culture change, especially London. Just because London, there's so many people, and so many different, I have to say, cultures. Yeah, it's kind of like a mashup of everything. So when I was in school, it was a bit easier, just because I lived in a dorm with four other guys. We kind of helped each other. We also had house parents. Had a connection with the school. I was in the school, so it was a bit easier. But when you kind of get into the company, you kind of realize it's like you're on your own. You know, I did live with a roommate, but that's when I think everything kind of starts to seem a bit scary. Especially with just company wise, you kind of maintaining yourself and trying to become that dancer you want to become. You have to figure out your own schedule and best times to do best time to do your gym and your Pilates and eat. And so it was definitely a process. I do feel very much settled now. I do feel comfortable with what I have to do for myself to get myself, feeling good all the time and being able to perform like that. It was
And
definitely a change from Florida, I have to say, especially weather-wise.
you
Yeah.
told me once that that's where you want to build your career. Is that still your goal?
Yes, I do see myself there. Yeah.
And why that company? What's it about that company that makes you want to stay there and move up?
I mean, just by itself, the productions you see and the back in the sets and the music, you hear the music, the live music is just amazing. And I have to say, especially the first time I saw Carlos performing Bayader, just watching it on the screen and hearing the audience react to his dancing and to the music and the set, it's just, I just felt, for me personally, that was the top, and that's where I kind of wanted to start and build my career.
Well, on that, before we entertain questions, I'd like to end on a high note and show another video of Francisco dancing. Petra? This was a benefit performance for Sarasota Cuban Ballet School. Is there music, Petra? Bravo.
I have one more.
There's one more.
Yes. 1 second. Sorry.
I'll be happy when we get back in the theater, won't you, everybody?
Yeah, one second.
It's definitely a bit easier than Zoom.
I know. This I love too.
There it is.
That was just terrific. I have some questions here. First one, I don't know if you answered this before. How old were you when you actually started your dancing?
I was 13, just 13, starting. I think I just about turned 14, so roughly around there.
Which is a little, I don't want to say very old, but it's a little beyond the starting age usually for most students. So was that a difficult transition?
Little bit, yes. It was a different timing than most people, just because they do start quite early on. But I have to say, with my parents, I think I had a good support system to kind of get me through that. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a regular schedule? Here's another question along with that. Did you have regular school classes while studying with the ballet school? And what was the schedule of a typical day at the school?
Yeah, so when I started with my parents, I actually started homeschooling just so I could dance a little bit more. So I would, in the morning, we would take class. After class, we would possibly either do variations or pareda or contemporary character, all those kind of things in my gym sessions with the trainer. And then I would just go home and do my schoolwork.
Okay.
So in the morning, I would do little side kind of exercise as well, and then do my normal kind of yearly school with with other students as well.
Here's from Ed Town. It's been great fun to follow you and the Royal on YouTube. We look forward to more. Do you have any trouble getting back to London after your holiday visit here?
No, just because I have my working visa, so though I'm allowed to go back without any issue. I just have to take a COVID test now before I get on the flight. Then I also have to fill out my travel forms just to explain where I have and what I've been doing. And then to get back into the company, I also have to fill out another form and also have another COVID test as 5 days after I get back.
And you're actually going back this Thursday, I understand.
I am, yeah, yes, yeah.
What's going to happen? Are they going to be starting performances or just going to be studio work or what?
For now, all I know is we're gonna do just classes as planned, and then I think the rest of the season is still under discussion. So yeah, it's kind of still in the process.
So you're not quite sure when they're going to actually start performing again, because isn't London pretty much on lockdown right now?
Yeah, they just recently got into tier 4 lockdown, the whole of England. So it's still a bit not really sure not really sure what's going to happen.
I'm surprised they're letting you back in, actually.
Same, yeah, me too. But yeah, luckily I have my visa, and yeah, that'll be okay.
I think Barbara Worth caught that it wasn't actually flight patterns, and she was one of her favorite pieces on YouTube is Take Flight from the festival in Hull in 2017. Is that part of flight pattern, and where can you see that?
Hull was a side, kind of like a side project.
Oh, it was a side project. Okay.
Hull, yeah, yes.
What was that? Tell us a little bit about that then.
Hull, they brought a few of the dancers to do performance, and what I did was like a little bit of like an outreach program with some of the kids of the community. That's where I danced Dying Swan, that my friend Calvin Richardson, a really good choreographer, his original piece, and it was more for the community to kind of yeah, it was a really nice experience.
I love this question. How is it for you now watching these old clips of yourself performing?
Sometimes I laugh and I enjoy, but sometimes I kind of look at them with one eye closed.
Why is that?
Just because you can see what you did wrong, and you kind of like relive it, and kind of wish you did something else, but sometimes you have to just kind of look away and enjoy, you know.
Life of a Ballet Dancer, they did a study, I forget who it was, but last year it came up and it got a lot of publicity. And the question was, what is the most difficult physical job that you can have? And, three guesses of which one came up number one. You know what it was, right, Francisco?
I don't know. I didn't know that.
The ballet dancer.
Was it?
Ballet dancer is the toughest, most physically demanding profession before any of the ones you would expect, like engineer or construction worker, or just tell about it. I mean, it takes quite a bit of dedication to become a world-class dancer. It's really like a calling, isn't it? Tell us about that, Francisco. Tell us about what it's like and what you have to do and what you have to do to invest yourself to become a top dancer.
Yeah, it is very demanding on the body, and not only physically but mentally. That's the mental game of it is also a very big aspect of it. It's not just physical, just because physical, you can have some days with some a bit easier rehearsals or not as long days, but obviously most of the days are long, and just class by itself is quite difficult. But it's definitely, you have to push and drive yourself to get to that place where you want to get. And I think that's what everyone does. Everyone has that drive and that want to be the best, and to be the best that they can be. So I think that's what one of the main things that drives a ballet dancer is that opportunity to be on stage and wanting to share and express themselves. But for the demanding part of it on the body, it is a lot of recovery, a lot of smart thinking, knowing what you have to do and what you can't do through the week, or just a regular day in the studio, what to do on the weekends, when you need a rest day, or when. Sorry?
Yes.
Oh.
I've been calling you all day. Did you get my messages? Okay.
Who's that?
I think somebody's unmuted themselves. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find who it is. 1 second.
Oh, it's okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Francisco.
But yeah, it's basically just finding the right system for you, for your body, and for your mental well-being as well, because it is waking up every day, getting through class, getting through every rehearsal, late nights when you have shows. It's we start at 10:30, finish at 5:30 with rehearsals, and then have a 7:30 call on stage, and then don't leave until we get off stage at 10:30 exactly, and then we don't leave until 11:15. So that every day, day in day out, through the week, it's a lot for the body and for the mental health. So it's a lot of strong and willing people to kind of put themselves in that position to to be able to perform and show the art of ballet.
Have you ever had an injury?
I've had a few. I've had a few cortisone shots for some liquid that I had in my ankles. I sprained my ankles a few times. I had a few tendon problems in my knee, which is normal. Those
Pretty common, isn't it?
Yeah, these are pretty common injuries for ballet dancers. You just have to really keep on top of the loading on your tendons, keep your ankles warm all day, keeping them strong, doing your releves. It's a process, but with a team we have at the Royal Opera House, I have to say, they'll get you back stronger than ever.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
These basically, I mean, I consider dancers to be basically athletes. I mean, you're really athletes, excepting unlike a long distance runner, who can just fling himself over the finish line. You have to look beautiful and elegant till the very end of the ballet, even though you may be dying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you just want to stop in the middle of it, but that's when that drive and that passion kind of kicks in and you finish.
I think I've answered most questions. If you could unmute, we can ask, does anybody else have a question that they want to ask of Francisco? Okay.
What is he looking? I have a question.
Sure.
What is he looking forward to his next big accomplishment?
Sorry?
What is your next big goal?
My next big goal. Well, my next big goal is just to keep working and hopefully, get those opportunities that I've always wanted on stage. Those anything. I'm hungry for it. I'm ready to put myself on stage, and I'm just waiting for those big opportunities to kind of show myself off. That's what ballet dancers do. We in the center of the stage, on the side of the stage, we give our all. So I'm just kind of just waiting.
But you've been given a lot of opportunities for.
Oh yeah, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Yeah, I can't be any more thankful. It's been great. I have to say, the past few years in the company, I didn't really expect to do a lot of things, but I've had the opportunity to do them, and I feel really good about it. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we have? Okay, Francisco, all I can say is the best of luck. And I look forward to seeing your name in lights for many years to come. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Loved having you. And please be on the lookout for our next speaking date for the Arts Advocates. And if you'd like to learn more about Arts Advocates, go to the website, artsadvocates.com. And if you'd like to know more about the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School, I'm not sure I think it's SarasotaCubanBalletSchool.org. If not, you can find it in Google search. And there you will see all the great work that this school is doing to prepare dancers like Francisco. And many, many of their dancers have gone on to dance with major companies. And it's just quite wonderful considering that this is a small school in a strip mall in Sarasota, and you would never know the kinds of dances that they're producing, right, Francisco?
Yeah, tucked away in a corner, but we're there.
Tucked away in the corner, right next to Big Lots.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.